Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Got it by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the...
Balls are back.
Whoops, messed that one up. Sorry, guys. Reddit did to do and welcome into more important issues. I hit a button at the wrong time. Apologies. You get the idea of the intro. Jeremy Pruitt's about to say it's the decade of the Vols. That's true. It's 100% true. You just missed that part right there. Welcome in to the 200th episode. Time flies when you're having fun, man.
It's wild.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
Yeah, I am getting old. I feel it too. So I told you I bowled 11 games on Monday. Mm-hmm. My arm hurts very bad.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, what the heck is this guy, Iron Man?
So it didn't hurt that bad Monday. It was a little, little spaghetti-like Monday. And then Tuesday starting to feel a little bit more. Today I'm like, oh. Yeah, I can feel it in my elbows. That wasn't smart of me.
Yeah, like I'm tired after 3 games.
There was a dude next to me, though.
To fall off the bone.
There was a dude next to me that bowled more games than us, and he was bowling. He had 2 lanes, bowling right-handed on the right lane and left-handed on the left lane.
Was it unlimited bowling?
Yeah, all you can bowl for like $8.50 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's why we did it.
So how long were you there?
About 4 hours.
I was muted. Gosh, this show is just starting off right.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it together though, guys. So we do have a great show for you. We're also adding something in that we'd like to do more often, but we're gonna kind of test run it tonight for our 200th episode. Excuse me. Call in. So right here, got our phone number. That's 865-424-1342, 1342. Call in. We'll take your calls. Hopefully we'll get to them fast enough. But yeah, call in. We've got a little wait room for you there. You can listen to the show, so don't worry about that. You won't miss any of it during that call in. We'll pick it up, and we'll, like I said, we've always said we want to talk about what you all want to talk about. So call that show in. Call into the show, and we'll start chatting. Justin Sanday's already in here. What's new? Not much, unfortunately.
Yeah, not a whole lot's new.
We're excited for content to create itself.
We have a couple things. I mean, there's unfortunately a lot of it's like just COVID stuff.
We know the practice schedule.
Yeah, we do. We know the Big Ten schedule. I don't know what the SEC is waiting on, but we know the Big Ten.
Pons is back.
Pons is back. I heard.
Yeah.
Through the grapevine.
Through the grapevine. I can't play the video because it'll probably get yanked off YouTube because of the Eminem song. So it's unfortunate.
But he's back.
But he's back
again.
He is. But yeah, so that stuff. We'll talk all about that. Talk about what Pons will bring to this team. National championship. Dude, I'm not saying national championship. That's not what I mean. But how much better do we feel about our chances for this basketball season with someone like Pons returning?
I mean, I like our chances a lot better because we probably won't be able to go. So if this were to be the year we'd win a national championship, it would be the year we couldn't actually go.
Football's going to go 8-2, all 10-game SEC schedule. Basketball is going to have a year that they would have went to the Final Four, and it's not even going to happen. Oh man. Hey, Brody. Brody's back in town and just crashed the party. You can call in or come in. I don't really care. We don't get to see Brody a lot. He's in from California. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Welcome, guys. We're happy to have Brody back. Can't wait to hang out this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. That was unexpected. It was expected, but unexpected.
Yeah. I wanted to play like the, what's the military return song? I don't know. I think it's just a sad song.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you would cry listening to it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But that wasn't playing, so it wasn't as dramatic when he came in.
Right. The last time we picked up Brody from the airport when he was in, they were having the where they take the World War II veterans to D.C. for the. So it looked like we had set up a balloon tunnel all the way down at McGee Tyson. So that was fun.
Yep,
that was fun.
For a guy that's 25 years old.
Yeah, I need to get my notes out here. Because like Justin said, there is, we joke about there nothing being new, but Pons is back. which is great. I think that's a little unexpected. We were hoping, and I think there was like some hope to hang on to because he does still have a lot to prove to be an NBA player. But his just intangibles kind of made you think he could have gotten drafted.
I mean, yeah, he's one of the most athletic. He'd probably be one of the most athletic people in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's just that gifted.
Right.
Physically and athletically. So, yeah, I think this is it's huge for Tennessee, but I think it could have went NBA. It could have went overseas. But he elected to stay at Tennessee. I think that's huge. And I think it has to do with he has to feel good about what he's coming back to, or he wouldn't have came back.
Right.
So I'm sure he has high hopes for this season as well.
Yeah, and with that, Tom, the SID for the basketball program.
Yeah.
I can never say his last name. He made that joking video of being able to pronounce Urosha's name. He needs to do a video now how to pronounce his name.
That's true, yeah.
He tweeted out what the Vols will get now that Pons is returning. Of the 2,079 points, Tennessee's returning 1,407. Of the 715 field goals, 500 field goals returning, 103 field goals returning, or 103 3-points returning of the 187. Rebounding of the 1,069, there's 745. Of the assists, 448 assists, there's 253. Block shots, all but 30 of them. 149 block shots returning, which are a lot of Pons.
Yeah, mostly Pons.
A lot of rim protection. Of the 186 steals, 123. Of the 6,200 minutes, 4,260 minutes. There's a lot returning with Pons. Was a big factor of the team last year. He brings a lot to the table. What changed a lot for him last year? He had the blocking ability. He had the rebound. He could rebound better. He had the rebounding ability, but his scoring ability last year was so important to that team, and seemed like it just developed more and more as the year went along. Getting him back will not only help him, but it'll also help this team a lot.
Yeah, I think he finally got comfortable getting the ball, like, on the post.
Right.
And when he finally did that, I mean, he averaged 10.8 points per game, which I think the year before it was like 2.2 points per game.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But I just think his presence, I mean, he's a guy that he's 6'6" and can guard all 5 positions. A lot of people are just like, oh, he can guard 4 positions. Well, he was guarding Azubuike at one point and doing a good job.
And he does a good job because he's a mismatch on the defense on the Tennessee's offensive end because a big guy's not fast enough to move with him, and a guy that's not big enough, he's just going to jump over.
Yeah,
he's a mismatch on the offensive side of the ball as well. It's man, I'm pumped. I love it. I ended up being shocked because we joke about how I talk myself into football wins. I'd talk myself out of that one happening. Because there were all these reasons that he could return. I'm like, nah, it just makes sense to go.
Yeah, I think it was a huge... I don't know if it was a surprise for the team, but I'm sure they're... Because, like, all the players are like, oh, this is a great day.
Right.
So I don't even think they expected
I mean,
it. At least they didn't seem to.
They know what it is. Like, they know what it means to have to just have the potential to get drafted in the NBA. And he was probably going to go. Mm-hmm. So that's a big deal. For sure. We're talking about Yves Pons returning. If you want to call in, that's 865-424-1342. Call in. We'll talk about some Pons.
Yeah, I mean, just the SEC Defensive Player of the Year coming back. Like we talked about, can guard all 5 positions. And, this team right now probably they definitely have more depth.
Yeah.
And talent. I don't know if they'll be better than that 2018 team.
A lot more depth in it.
Yeah. And more NBA talent.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I don't know. That was a lot of NBA talent. 4 of your starters.
Yeah,
one. 3 got drafted, 4 played. I guess.
Pons, Josiah Jordan James will be.
Yeah, I don't disagree. There's gonna be a lot of NBA. It's just a lot of those guys still have some development, and like we've all heard about Keon Johnson being the best player on that team already. Mm-hmm. So you expect him to be an NBA talent. I hope that's the case. That would be fantastic to get. Not only get a 5-star, get a guy that's a day 1 starter. And as much as you hate to see one and dones, because you want them to be good for all 4 years, I would take a one and done every day of the week.
Yeah, and I don't know if they'll be better than that 2018 team because that team played together for years.
Yeah, they did.
And finally got to
they
that
grew
point.
together.
Yeah, and developed together, and there was that bond where. this team is going to rely on a lot of freshmen to step up and be, key contributors for this team. So I don't know if they get to 31 wins like that other team, but I think the potential is there.
Right.
I mean, and the development with Rick Barnes' history of developing guys, you would think that these guys that were here last year would take the next step in their development.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's kind of talk about some of this 2020, 2021 team now that you know the full roster. I think the two biggest question marks, because they were both pretty big contributors on the team last year, probably don't start this year. Where does Josiah Jordan-James and then Vescovi's back on campus, where do they fit in on this roster?
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm interested who is going to be the primary ball. Who's going to be your point guard?
Right. That's my big question.
Is it going to be Josiah Jordan-James? Or is it going to be Victor Bailey Jr.? I think it's probably up to those two, because I think that's a lot to ask a freshman to be a point guard.
See, I understand why you like to say Josiah Jordan-James. I think it seemed like, and I know he was hurt. He was injured, battling injury throughout the second half of the year. But it seemed like they trusted Vescovi more than him bringing the ball up the court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
he's got to get quicker though to do it on this team.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what that looks like. And it's fun because, if your 7th, 8th, 9th guy are guys that played a ton of basketball last year.
Right. Wouldn't it also be nice, talking about the primary ball handler, wouldn't it also be nice to see less pressure on Vescovi in terms of defensive matchups and letting him just shoot off the ball?
Yeah.
Just catch and shoot.
Yeah, I mean that.
Because he doesn't really have the ability to create, but the man can shoot.
Yeah. And will do it at any time. He
doesn't care. Anytime. He's got quick trigger.
Does not care.
I love it.
Yeah, you got to. I just don't like that was a big thing with that 2018 team when Jordan Bone came out. There was a significant drop in the offense.
Right.
Lamonte was good, but there was no depth behind those guys.
And he didn't play how Rick Barnes wanted him. How Jordan Bone played. He wasn't as aggressive.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, there were times that in that season they tried to get Grant Williams to bring the ball up the court.
Oh yeah.
So if that tells you anything about the ball handling, you definitely won't have that. Because if your worst ball handler, or your worst person you have to bring the ball up the court is Santiago Vescovi, sign me up. I will take that every day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, he was turnover prone, but good Lord, he was on campus for not even a week and started against LSU.
And his assists more than made up for that issue, too. So
I mean, he was probably, besides John Fulkerson, I think he was our second best offensive player.
Right.
I wouldn't say second. But, I mean, he's probably third best player on the team.
It would be interesting to see the scoring efficiency, so assists, scores, stuff like that, with his plus minus Vescovi beginning of the year or end of the year. So look at just the SEC schedule. That would be interesting to see, because I've got to think Vescovi's at the top of that.
Yeah, for
end of year alone.
I mean, how many did he have against LSU? It was like,
was that his first? Was LSU's first game?
Yeah, because
he played a lot of minutes.
He sat in the game before that, and I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been Wisconsin.
I don't think he was on campus for Wisconsin. Wisconsin was in December.
He was on campus one game that he did not play.
So maybe he got on campus in December and he wasn't eligible to play.
LSU was his first actual game,
okay.
And he had 18 points.
Okay, so I guess he was on campus for Wisconsin. But yeah, that was in December.
Yeah.
The Wisconsin game.
Yeah, I think it was right before.
So maybe when you're not enrolled in classes, I don't know. However it worked, whatever. Regardless, his second half of the season was absolutely incredible.
Yep.
So
he's back.
He's back. He's back on campus.
With the haircut.
Blonde, right?
Like silver.
Silver? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He went that One Direction look.
I love it.
You think Great Clips will give out those kind of haircuts?
I hope so, because that's how you get me to return.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't been to Great Clips since they really just messed me up. So I'd like to make a comeback.
Would you do it if they because there's some dye, so there's some money to be there's some money thrown into those haircuts. So maybe they'll do a good job, or maybe they'll do a terrible job.
I'll only do it for $5.99. The only way you're gonna mess me up is the $5.99 haircut. Sorry, I'm not paying $12 for you to mess me up. Not gonna happen. $5, $6 though, no tip. Yeah, do what you want to my hair. I
Yeah,
don't care.
because then you're like, well, I'll go fix it somewhere else.
Exactly. Yeah, mess me up for $6 every day of the week.
I know my sister, she works at Sports Clips, and the $5.99 haircuts, she has to do a lot of
fixing.
A lot of fixing.
Yeah, it's actually only got me once. Surprisingly, it's only got me one time. And that was the only time the only time I've been for a $6.99 haircut. And
Did you go back to
$5.99
Great Clips for them to fix you, or did you?
No. I went to the person who normally cuts my hair. So I never would like text her the day of and be like, "Hey, can you cut my hair?" Because that just seemed rude to me. So I went to Great Clips because I needed my haircut really bad. I had something to do that week, maybe, I don't know, and realized that was a mistake. Yeah. And so I called her and I was like, "Please tell me you're working today." And she's like, "Yep." I was like, I went to get a haircut at Great Clips, and she went, "Oh shit."
Little patches of hula hand walking in.
So I had to shave my head. I think like with a one or two guard, like really short. Yeah, wasn't good.
So don't trust the $5.99.
Yeah. That's the moral of the story is never trust the $5.99 haircut.
Yeah, don't do it.
I will give you a haircut for $2.99 though if anybody wants that.
Okay.
I'll give you the Vescovi special for $2.99.
Oh, you like the
silver, yeah.
Little skunk thing in the back?
I guess I didn't see this whole haircut. You're gonna have to show it to me.
I'll show you the back. And
yeah, I'm interested to see the back. Anything else for Pons that you want to talk about, or this basketball team?
I mean, I think Rick Barnes. You know, we talk about him recruiting like high school players. What a job he's done bringing in, a transfer with E.J. Anasicki. He brought in Victor Bailey last year, Urosh as well. And now he's recruiting guys to come back to his program.
Yeah.
Pons.
I realize the head coach is going to get all the credit, but I'm going to throw a bone to my boy Kim English.
Oh, I'm sure.
Look at the recruiting difference since he's been on campus.
Oh, yeah.
Just and I realize you got to want to play for the head coach too. Like, I'm not discrediting Rick Barnes, but the difference in the year and a half, 2 years Kim English has been here it's been drastic.
He's probably the relationship guy,
right?
And he's probably the seller. He's like, hey, look at Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield when they got here, and now look at them.
Yep.
He can sell that development, whereas Rick Barnes is just like, yeah, I did that. You got to be more intense with high school players. Though.
Rick Barnes he's going to coach you. That's all he does.
Yeah.
He's going to coach you.
The old ball coach.
Exactly. I love it. Man, we need basketball back now. Bad.
So how far does this team go?
If we play, this team, I think, is an Elite Eight team. Final Four, I think that's I think talent alone, obviously some other things got to fall in place, and the SEC is going to be tougher than normally. As tough as it's been the last 2 or 3 years. But I think this team's talent-wise probably an Elite Eight team. And then if we're just being honest about how many times has the best team in college basketball won the national championship?
Yeah, that's
how often have they played in the Final Four?
Right.
Just as rare. So a lot of that's, I think talent can really get you to the Elite Eight. And I think this, obviously still things have to fall in place. But talent tells me Final Four, Elite Eight team, Elite Eight. I'd say Elite Eight.
I agree with that, based off of potential.
Yeah,
because you haven't seen these guys, these freshmen play. But the good thing about the freshmen is, like, you're relying on them to be good, but if one of them isn't, ready, like Josiah Jordan James, he was not prepared to be a starter and be a 15-point contributor.
So I guess let's say this. So I think a lot of people that are listening right now and just heard me say Elite Eight, maybe Final Four, probably like, did you watch the team last year? I mean, barely scraped together a half decent season, and I realize that. But the two big things that I think the Vols went out and got were aggressive point scorers in Keon Johnson, and you could probably put Jaden Springer in that category too. Went out and got aggressive point scorers, and then you went and got a big man who's going to move people around the paint in E.J. Anasicki. Those are the two big key things you're missing. Hate or love John Fulkerson, the man creates magic. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he just eats a crap ton of pals before the game and figures it out. But the man makes magic. Whatever.
He's first team All SEC.
I can't
argue with that.
I watch him run too, and I can't understand it, but he does.
He does.
Vescovi is able to make plays too. And this year he's not. I don't think he's a guy that can do it for 40 minutes. This year he's not going to be asked to do that. You don't lose a ton in Jordan Bowden. He just wasn't the guy that he's a great contributor. You can't deny that. But he wasn't the guy. You don't lose a whole lot. You played an entire season without Lamonte Turner. No big loss there. Not a big deal. You get Pons back, SEC Defender of the Year. I think this team has the pieces to be really, really good. can they do it for a whole season? I think that's a good question.
Yep, gotta stay healthy. That's part of it. I think we lack size, but I think we're going to be a lot more athletic than we've been in a long time.
Yeah, I agree.
Just moving up the court, and that makes up for being, we were slow and small last year, so it didn't help.
Yes.
But this year I think we're going to be pretty good athletically, especially with the 5-star guards. And I mentioned it, if one of those guys isn't ready to be a starter,
they don't need to be.
yeah, because you have guys that started last year you can ease those guys into it. EJ Anosike, who we thought if Pons wouldn't come back, he'd probably be starting. That's a lot to come from, where Sacred Heart and come in the SEC.
And what's fantastic is they could both be on the court at the same time as starters too.
Yeah.
If like that you have, it's not like your biggest man and your, one of the more aggressive men is John Fulkerson this year. That's not the case. And, God, I just blanked on his name. You do have Kumwa, freshman.
Urosh?
Well, I'm not counting on him. Who's a freshman big man coming in? Well, he's like he'll probably be like a 3 or 4.
Yeah, Corey Walker.
But you have Corey Walker too, who he seems to have the body type to go in there and bang around inside. We'll see. That's to be determined too. You've seen EJ Anosike do it at the college level, though. I have faith that he can do it. So
You don't have any faith in Urosh?
not.
I think he'll be a good basketball player by the time he leaves here.
I don't disagree with that statement, but after what I saw last year, I think there's going to be a need to be a drastic jump. Did I say Jurassic?
Jurassic.
He is going to need a Jurassic level.
He is
type
Jurassic
jump.
level.
He is. But yeah, that I shouldn't say I don't have faith. If Rush can just be a rim protector, can play 8 minutes a game. That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot of time.
I think Elite Eight would be good. You get past that Sweet 16 that you got to in 2018. I think you got to win the SEC. Or a regular season tournament. You got to win one of those. I think with this team, and it's going to be tough. Auburn will probably be good.
LSU
Kentucky
should be pretty good.
LSU, Arkansas is supposed to be good.
The good news is Kentucky has some. I know Kentucky probably figures it out. That's why I'm. I understand that, but they are going to have a ton of questions to answer.
Yeah.
A lot more than Tennessee does.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the good news.
But it's exciting, man. It really is. Because, last year, we're we're excited, but we have no clue.
Yeah. Well, and me, you, and your dad left the first exhibition game, and all three looked at each other and were like, it's going to be a long year. We were well aware what we were getting ourselves into last year. Yeah. So, and Vescovi brought a little bit of hope, but we still knew what it was going to be. Especially by that point, you knew what Jordan Bowden was going to be.
And you lost Lamonte Turner. God, if we didn't have Vescovi, that would have sucked.
It would have been a long January, February, March if we didn't have Vescovi.
Because he was the most exciting person we had on the team.
Yeah. And think about some of the big shots he hit.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the big shots that ended up not mattering because
the
we
arm
just weren't. Yeah, just because we weren't good. Oh, man.
Oh, we have a season, though. That'd be good.
We're fighting for a vaccine.
I'm
going front lines for this one.
I think basketball will happen.
The moment Pons said he was coming back, if you didn't decide, no matter how you felt about masks, if you didn't decide at that moment that you were going to wear a mask forever, kind of fan.
As soon as he announced that he was coming back, I looked up how much a saxophone was. I was just curious.
Were you going to buy one?
I mean, I was like, I'd like to play some sax.
A little bit of.
It's like $700.
Get a used one; it'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll let Pons stick with the. He can be the only one with the sax. That's fine.
That was some good sax, man.
Good sax.
What was it? Careless Whisper? Is that what he played?
Yeah. It was beautiful.
I love the content.
How many blocks does he have? Because he tied the record.
Did he tie it?
Yeah.
Oh, glad he's coming back. Maybe that's why he's coming back.
Yeah. Just had to beat it. And I think with him, with his athletic ability, I don't necessarily think coming back hurts him in the NBA draft.
It's definitely not going to hurt him. No. Help him, to be determined.
Yeah.
Hurt him? No.
Yeah, it could help him if he got better offensively, but I don't see him getting that much better offensively. Maybe more consistent.
Probably. I mean, yeah, and then he's gonna have to.
But he's getting drafted based off of his defending and athletic ability, not really his offense.
If he wants to be a consistent player in the NBA, on a roster playing consistently, he's going to have to be able to shoot the outside ball more.
Yep.
So that's what he'll have to develop. So and he got better at the three last year. So if he can continue that improvement, I think that I don't know if it necessarily moves up his draft stock.
He shot 35% from three.
How many threes did he shoot?
I do not know that.
I don't know if it was a lot. He was a little hesitant.
He's and most of those were from straight on at the top of the key.
Yep.
But hey, whatever works. Hey, you're hitting shots. I don't care where you hit it from.
Right. I mean, 35% is good, but I'd like to see shoot a little more. I think. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know the stats, but I don't think he's going to need to shoot a little bit more because he's not going to be that big in the NBA. His athleticism is still very impressive, but he's not going to be that big.
Yeah.
So,
he's going to block a lot of shots. Though.
He's going to block a lot of shots. A lot of shots. SEC football returning with an official camp schedule. We wondered how many weeks of camp they'd get. They're gonna get to start on August. This says August. I thought it was August. August 17th.
Yep.
Practice on August 17th. So they're allowed to conduct starting on Friday. They're allowed to start conditioning, 14 hours per week of strength conditioning meetings and walkthroughs. So they'll be on the field starting Friday.
Yep.
And then August 17th. Until opening game, schools are allowed 25 practices, so similar to a spring schedule, kind of limit the numbers of practices you have. Only up to 20 hours per week, and then a 5-day acclimation period is required, so they'll have 2 days in helmets, 2 days in shells, and the 5th day in full pads. They can start full pads.
And I think they get 2 days off per week.
Yep, schools are required to provide student athletes with a minimum of 2 days off per week until the first week of the season. So, we're ready.
Give
Rules
us
in
the schedule,
place,
man.
Rules
Let's
in
go.
place. Let's play. When are we gonna get that schedule?
I don't know. I'm nervous about it.
You think it's A&M and LSU?
Dude, if it's A&M LSU,
There's
people are
no.
gonna riot.
That doesn't make sense.
People are gonna riot.
There's no way.
Like we gotta have one of the Mississippi State
Because that doesn't make
schools.
Does it make how would that make sense in the strength of schedule? Strength of schedule.
I don't know. Yeah. Then I'm curious. So like, what are you doing it off of?
Yeah, strength of schedule. Tennessee should get at worst A&M because it's Alabama. So number 1 and number 2 in the West are going to be Alabama and LSU.
Yep.
So at minimum, it's A&M and Auburn. Right?
Yep.
You can't play Alabama, so it's probably even Auburn or like Mississippi State.
That's what we gotta have one of the Mississippi schools. We play freaking Alabama. Okay, come on.
Yeah, I don't that A&M and LSU doesn't make sense in any way unless you're doing like a random drawing. And
But
you just
Florida
get
and Georgia,
butt effed.
they probably won't get. Or Georgia plays Alabama, don't they?
Georgia plays Alabama this year.
Florida will probably not get.
Yeah,
Alabama.
but they
Because
should
they were supposed to get screwed if it was going to be the next two.
but they shouldn't be able to. So strength of schedule, they can't play. They can't have Florida and Georgia can't have the toughest schedules in the East. There's no way. They're supposed to be the top 2 teams, so it's physically impossible for them to have tough schedules.
Yep.
They have to at least, at best, have the 3rd toughest. At best.
I'm gonna be so mad if that's the way it is.
If we get, there's no way. Call in. Let's talk about it. 865-424-1342 if you want to call in. Talk about the SEC schedule. What teams you want to see?
Yep.
What teams you want to see? I don't know. If you get Ole Miss and Mississippi State, that's a freaking pipe dream. Because you already play Arkansas.
Oh yeah, that'd be so fun.
10-0.
I mean,
8-2.
I mean, you better go 7-3. 7-3,
Yeah,
or it's a bust.
Yeah. If you get those 2 teams.
Right.
What if you get A&M and LSU? What are you putting the threshold at?
Oh man, that sucks. That would suck ass. I guess like 5-5 is like what you kind of have to go.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe you get one and get 6-4, but you could also lose one somewhere too. I don't know. That's rough. 5-5 would not be great. But then again, you play what? Probably 5 of the top 15 teams in the country.
Yeah, all of them. Pretty much
good
everybody
God.
except Vanderbilt, Arkansas are going to be a top team in the country.
Yeah.
Because Kentucky's a lot of people. I was reading about Kentucky yesterday. I don't know what's happened. Everybody's high on Kentucky now. They lost their best player and they're loving them. They lost the only player that was the difference between 0-12 and what they ended up going 5-7.
Yeah, something like that. No, they went to a bowl game.
They go to a bowl game. Oh yeah, they did because they got in a fight with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, it was him.
I've been watching Last Chance U season 1 over again because
You like the growling dude?
yeah, I love the ground dude. But I just want to see how bad Buddy was now that I know Jason Brown, because that's the big thing. Like who do you like best? And everyone's like, well, if you don't think Buddy's the best, you're an idiot because he's the best football coach. And I was like, I mean, you can be a good football coach and an absolute dick. Like those two things are not, not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
In fact, that's most football coaches. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I went back and watched it, and I watched that fight, dude. It's just insane. Like
how the him and the official?
No. The Delta State.
Oh yeah.
How have all those coaches not lost their jobs? Not EMCC, the other team.
Oh, what did
they had to get fired? I mean, they were just letting, like, there were players hitting late the whole game. They punched a manager before the game. He had to get 5 stitches.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Like, how has every single dude on that coaching staff not lost their job? It's mind-boggling.
Because JUCO, baby.
I guess. Matt Adams said, I'd like to see LSU first game. New coaches and a lot of new players. Maybe gives us a shot at them. I mean, I see your line of thinking, Matt. I do.
I've read some on LSU. They're loaded again.
I just think
I'd
I'd like
not the
to
same type of loaded,
right?
But they're still a pretty dang good.
I like your line of thinking, but I think if we can avoid LSU, I think let's not.
Yeah, they got the best wide receiver in the country. They got the best defensive back in the country.
Yeah, I would. I do like your line of thinking, Matt. I do.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, but no.
I mean, if we get LSU, we get LSU, but we better have a Mississippi school as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Give us Ole Miss and LSU. Yeah, I guess just give us.
I'd rather have LSU and like Ole Miss than Auburn and Texas A&M. I'd rather have that.
Yeah, I think we could beat them both. I think it's possible. So I don't know. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I think we can beat Auburn and A&M.
But we for sure beat the Mississippi teams. Hopefully.
Yeah, Michael Leach comes in here and throws 600 yards on us, and then what do we say next?
Well, we throw for 700, so.
Okay. Easy, JG. Pump the brakes there.
Hey.
Pump the brakes. What's the Yeah, Matt Adams said, okay, what about Ole Miss? Yep. That's Landon just said that. We'd love to see Ole Miss. Give me Lane Kiffin coming to Neyland, baby. Even when no fans are there. How many people show up just to cuss Lane Kiffin out as he gets off the bus if Ole Miss comes and plays at Neyland?
Oh, a ton.
Or do too many fans love him now? What's that all about?
Yeah, I don't know. Thief in the night. Yeah, I'm not a. It's the same people that just love Mike Leach. I'm like, what do you love about Mike Leach? That he's weird.
I don't understand.
I mean, he's entertaining, but it's. I feel like Lane Kiffin's kind of entertaining. Right. But that don't mean I want him as our football coach.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm happy not having Lane, honestly. So, yeah, I don't understand the whole.
I mean, dude, he could have been like. I understand he wants to be a head football coach, but dude, he's such a good offensive mind that, dude, I just would have stuck with being offensive coordinator. I know the money's different, but there's a lot less trouble you can get in.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Dude, I don't know. It's just, and it's gonna be so hard at Ole Miss. It's gonna be so hard. Mm-hmm. Whatever floats your boat, though, man. I guess I don't know.
I do want to mention this, guys. Go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House and Hound Dogs. Great stuff. Love those guys. They make this show possible. So go check them out. Also, Volunteer Roadshow. Go check them out.
Let's see if I can pull this up here.
Have a bunch of merchandise coming in pretty soon. We'll have a promo code out for you guys where you can use our promo code, get you some gear.
Yep. Let me pull that up and we'll show you guys. Right now, that's in mask. Everybody needs a mask. Everywhere you go, you need a mask now.
Get the Net Gator going.
Yeah, might as
Net
well.
Gator gang.
Might as well get this.
And it's not GATOR. It's
a good kind of
GAITER.
It's a good kind of gator.
Yeah, it's the right one.
I need one of those because masks, dude, they hurt my ears.
Yeah,
because I got big ass ears. So
see that when I'm working out though, I have to have like a mask because this whole
neck gets a little sweaty.
Yeah, can't be doing that. I'll suffocate.
Hope it doesn't get pulled off for that. I accidentally played the. It's still playing the Pons video I made. Hope it doesn't get yanked off YouTube now. Matt, we'll get to that question in just a second that you just asked. Let me tell you guys about Volunteer Roadshow that Atlanta was just talking about it. Head on over to Volunteer Roadshow. Go to shop here. And like he said, we'll have a ton of stuff to... a lot more stuff. I can get it loaded now. Pulled up here soon. But we've got Tennessee logo Gators. Where'd it go? Tennessee logo, Lady Vols logo, and then the checkerboard, man. That one looks fantastic.
The checkerboard does look nice.
All right, this isn't pulling up for me. I'm going to have to do it later. That's unfortunate. We'll have to show it to you later, but head on over to volunteerroadshow.com, and it's all there. It's good stuff, man. Matt asked us a question here. He said, do you think we could get Juwan... Georgia. I was like, I can't read that. Oh. Georgia early on. Georgia. That's why I was like, I can't read this.
You said Jawan. I was like, okay, where's this going?
I'm so sorry. I need to get more sleep. Georgia early on, since they don't really have a proven QB. No, you're good, Matt. That's my fault. I should have been able to read that. Since they don't have a proven QB, JT Daniels is proven, but only in Pac-12, not SEC. I like Georgia in November, man.
Yeah, we play a lot better in November.
Again, I like your line of thinking. I see what you're saying.
We play a lot better in November.
And the Vols play a lot better in November. That's another good point.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting thing you bring up about the Georgia is that they do often their defense is going to be sound. Mm-hmm. So getting them in November maybe means they're banged up.
Maybe. Getting
them in but offense side, yeah, maybe. I mean, they're not going to have a chance to answer those questions yet that they have.
Yeah.
I don't know. While we're on the Georgia topic, what do you think about JT Daniels? You buying or selling the hype?
I mean, I think if what I'm hearing about Jamie Newman, he's the next coming of Christ. So it would be shocking if JT Daniels won the starting job.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Unless he is Christ himself.
I don't know if I call him that.
Georgia loves him. I mean, it's good for, like, I wish I had that problem, whereas, like, no matter who I started was going to be a good quarterback.
But is Jamie Newman going to be that?
I don't know.
I think the starter is JT Daniels. Matt said he's selling the hype on JT Daniels. I like JT Daniels. If he had come to Tennessee, I wouldn't have been upset. I think it would have been interesting to see with the Harrison Bailey situation. Because I think Harrison Bailey might be your starter by the end of the year. But I like JT Daniels. I don't know how much he helps that Georgia team. I can tell you this. He helps them more than Jamie Newman.
Yep.
I do believe that. But you want him late in the year still, right?
Yeah, I do want him late in the year. I just think, like, Georgia State BYU, perfect example. Like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah. So, Phil Fulmer brought up an interesting point. He was on the Swain event talking about the season and what it's going to look like now with the 10-game SEC schedule. And Swain was asking, what's it going to kind of be? Because I think he asked about the Oklahoma game, too, and stuff like that. And he asked what it's going to be like kind of not having those cupcake games and preparing. And Phil Fulmer said every year they had a big game to open. Fall camp was much more effective. Everything went much better because you knew what you were preparing for. Because you knew you were traveling to UCLA or you were bringing whatever it was. And you knew you were going to have to be on your game. You didn't have a Georgia State. You didn't have a Western Kentucky to walk through. So you don't have those days in fall camp where people don't want to be there. Fall camp was just you're getting ready for this opponent. Now that's exactly what it's going to be because you're playing an SEC opponent. Florida potentially day one.
That's a good point, but also look back 2 years ago we played West Virginia. Again, not a great start.
Yeah.
So
the good news about that was a terrible roster team.
Yeah, it was a terrible team. Terrible team.
And it was Pruitt's first year as head coach. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not holding that against him, but from what we've seen so far at Jeremy Pruitt, it looks like we play better at the end of the year. I'd probably rather have Georgia right now, right then.
Yeah, I agree. I would think I'd rather have Georgia than too. I want Florida day one though, man. I want Florida day one.
Be fun. Be exciting. I don't know how the game's going to turn out, but it's going to be exciting up until the first whistle.
Yeah. Hopefully it's good after that point too. But, Matt also asks, have you guys heard anything about Danico Slaughter? He lays the wood, or do they switch between him and Tank?
I think Danico Slaughter is going to have a chance. I'm interested in what they do with the redshirt rule. Do they make it less games?
I feel like with it being all conference games, might as well just keep it.
Just keep it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'll be interesting. I think he's one that he's definitely going to contribute on special teams, I think.
Yeah.
For those 4 games if they want to redshirt him. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to play.
I think there's definitely an opportunity to play. Because I don't think the roster is quite entirely where it should be yet. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of young guys that have the opportunity to play.
And I think Theo Jackson would probably get in before Danico Slaughter right now. I think what you see out of his film, you like what you see. You like the hitting ability and things like that. But I think there's a lot more to it than just hitting. And starting off in an SEC schedule, that's tough.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's going to be tough for a lot of guys, especially guys that maybe would have seen some early playing time in those first couple games. And now it's kind of a question mark because of who you play in those
But you move it back, so you have more time to kind of get acclimated to at least college football, not necessarily a SEC schedule.
Yeah, it's definitely pros and cons. Yeah. I don't disagree. Probably, so what do you think? Probably more, man, I don't know. Because the pro of it, it's a very controlled environment. So the coaches are going to make what they want to see. Whereas if you go out and play Charlotte, you got to play really good to get some of those guys more reps in the second half. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's good or bad.
I mean, if you see them, it's definitely a good thing. Because I feel like you're up, or you could be getting blown out too. But
well, I'm saying pros and cons, longer fall practice versus playing your cupcake opponents. Mm-hmm. So in camp, they're going to create the environment. And you may not necessarily get equal reps, but you're going to get reps. Whereas that week you would have went and played Charlotte, you may not get the field. You may not even dress or see the field at all.
Right.
But now you get to see those reps in practice. Coaches get to see you. More time to prove yourselves. Obviously, games are different.
It's more time to learn the defense, learn the offense. You're not just thrown into the fire. Didn't have a spring practice. Here's fall camp, and then now we're playing a game. Like there's a lot more to that now. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how much practice changes. Like, is it more intense now because you're trying to get ready for an SEC schedule?
I will say there. I would guess there's going to be some pretty intense practices coming up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would guess.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Hey, it's good for them.
Yeah, high school football's back. They're playing.
Pads are popping.
Do what?
Pads are popping. I heard them off the front porch.
That's one way to put it. Greenville's already canceled their first game.
Yeah, what did you think about UConn?
Forgot about UConn. UConn canceled their season entirely. It's I didn't realize they were independent in football. That definitely makes it interesting because they're not a level that Notre Dame's at, where Notre Dame can...
They're in the American.
Oh, I thought I read they were independent.
I'm pretty sure they're American.
Okay. Are you sure that... What are they for basketball? Because they are in a conference for basketball.
Maybe they're in the Big East?
That sounds right.
But I'm pretty sure they're in the American because they went 2-10 last year. They went 0-8 in the American Conference.
Yeah, that's weird. I swore someone said they were independent. And they were like, that's probably why. But they're in the American.
This is our 200th episode. UConn would have probably been 200th in the country if there was 200 teams in the FBS because they were terrible.
Hey, what was it? The civil conflict with UCF?
Yeah.
First off, what kind of name is that for a rivalry?
Yeah, that's
the civil conflict.
That's the most nerd thing in the world.
Oh my gosh. What was the so they're in the American. I read an article. No, they're independent. They are independent.
So they just play an American conference?
No, this is so confusing. It literally says conference independent. And then it says past conferences. Independent from 2000 to 2003. Big East from 04 to 2012. The American from 13 to 19. Yeah, this makes no sense. Okay, they are in the American. You're right.
Okay.
But their conference still says independent.
Okay.
So is the American an independent conference?
I mean, dude, if I'm UConn too, I'm like, yeah, forget the season. Let's get to basketball because 0-8 in the American Conference, that's rough.
Yeah.
Gross.
Dude,
we have a question.
Okay.
Garrett Powell says, I don't know if you guys have mentioned it, but what is going to happen with red shirts? What happens in the case where a guy gets the coronavirus and can't redshirt because he has played too much? Should the rule change this year since the whole season needs an asterisk beside it?
It's a good point. It's a lot of good questions.
Yeah, I think this is the time to try some things.
Yeah.
So I think like same thing with the MLB. You know, they're doing the extra innings where they have a guy on second base. You try stuff and see what works.
Right.
And then you can use it in the future, or you can trash it. I'm not sure what they do with the. I would say with an SEC schedule, it would be easier to do just the 4 games, just because like how often in the conference were you going to see those guys anyway?
Right.
So I think it would just keep it at 4, and then coronavirus. I don't know what you.
I would imagine if you had to sit out more than a game. So if you don't get to return next week or 14 days, I'd imagine you'd get a medical. I mean, it probably depends on how many games you played, but I think that would probably be a medical redshirt question.
Yeah.
I would think. Mm-hmm. That's a good question, though, because what a lot of teams are having to do is have a return to play after COVID, because there's a lot of questions about the respiratory system, your lungs and your heart, that haven't really. There's still questions, so it's gonna be the coronavirus. I think is a great question that I just don't know, but I think it's a great question.
Yeah, I don't really think anybody knows. And that's the bad part.
Yeah, UConn is independent since last year. 2019 was their last year.
Okay, so
in the American.
So now they're independent.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Because I looked at I thought they were independent too, and then I looked at their schedule. Oh, they're in the American, but that was their last year. Okay, that makes sense. They need that.
Matt said it's UConn. They suck at football. That's
true.
You're making great points here.
They want to get the basketball
great
season.
Points.
I don't. I would do the same thing. Like that's
Tennessee's wearing masks for football. UConn's canceling football for basketball.
Yeah, I would say Vanderbilt would try to do the same thing, but they suck at basketball too. So I guess they're just trying to like cancel fall period.
Right.
And then just try to get to baseball.
Season.
Yeah.
Which Tracy Rocker's son, Kamar, is this his last year, or did he go
Yeah, he's he'll probably be the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, I saw I don't remember what team. They're like suck for Rocker or whatever to get the draft pick.
Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think but the asterisk is a great point. I think there's going to be a lot of what happens if you're playing, because you're going to give out an SEC championship trophy. What happens if a player from Alabama gets it the week before? What happens if
Darn.
Yeah.
I don't mean that, but
Mac Jones is the starting quarterback. He's thrown for 6,000 yards, and he gets coronavirus the day before the game. Gets tested positive. I mean, asterisk. I don't know. Football's if it happens at all, and I'm praying it does, it's gonna be interesting.
Yep.
Football's just gonna be difficult.
Are Rutgers trying to do like where they give it to everybody, like the chicken pox?
Yeah.
And so they
Clemson method.
Yeah.
Like 40 players test positive.
They think that like you can't get it again.
You can't for 3 months right now. Seeing the antibodies last 3 months, that's good news. So you just got to get through football season.
Oh, okay. So that's a good plan. So
Clemson, Clemson did it in like June.
So
it's
going to
hit him.
Themselves.
It's going to hit him right in time for Notre Dame to beat him in the ACC title game. Dude, what a story that would be if you found out that like
that's what they were doing.
Like everybody kiss each other, get the coronavirus.
I mean, like. Shiano doesn't have the greatest of reputations anyway, so
yeah. Well, aren't a lot of people accusing him of not handling the restrictions correctly?
Yeah.
Isn't that what's going on? And then they got Colorado. Is that right? Colorado.
Yeah, they're having.
And then Washington State obviously is having that issue with.
Yeah, Colorado's like they were telling people not to report.
Yeah. What idiots! Idiots.
Good Lord. What else we got? We got You want to talk about the Pac-12 a little bit more?
Yeah, speaking of Colorado. Idiots. Everybody over there. What's up with this loan? Have you read about it? I saw it as I was coming here. You know what that's about?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about getting like billions of dollars in loan money to the member schools to keep athletic funding going after this year, because Pac-12 is getting ready to cancel.
See, I don't know about that, but I was reading the list of demands. I've kind of went back and forth on some of them.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, so you're going to
the player
demands for past COVID, really. There's some COVID ones, but...
Right. I think there's some on there that I like, and there's some that, like, I don't necessarily hate, but it's stuff that's never going to happen.
Yeah, you have to... It seems to me, and I think I said this on Sunday, it seems to me that it lacks true leadership. Mm-hmm. Kind of seems thrown together.
Yep.
Because I think there are things that you should be able to look at that and use common sense and go, that's not possible.
But maybe they're starting so high, and so like
yeah, that's how you negotiate.
Like, yeah, the Pac-12 is just like, okay, no, but we'll give you a 6-year athletic scholarship. It's a win for them. Yeah, they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know, or maybe they're just trying to like have somebody talk about the Pac-12.
Yeah,
because no one really talks about them.
Right. So one thing I want to bring up.
Okay, what you got?
So talking about the things that can't happen. So they want 54% of the athletic money. 52.
So 50% they want to distribute it through the athletes.
Okay.
And then 2% goes to low income financial aid.
Okay, that's right.
Yep.
So that's not a possible number. 50% it's spread out it's just not possible.
No.
Not the way, and maybe long term, maybe, but you can't start there.
Right.
You can't start there. Also, you want other sports to be operating. If you want that 50% number, you have to give up the other sports. So like you have to be realistic about it. Look at NFL teams. NFL teams aren't funding women's soccer teams.
Right.
NFL teams aren't funding baseball teams. College baseball teams. If you look at the money, those teams cannot fund other sports programs, teams that don't make money. If you're giving 50% to the players. Yeah. Both of us are in agreement that players should be getting paid.
Right.
But the place to start is to allow them to profit off their likeness. That's the place to start. Then one thing they stated that would fix this issue is the endowment. They want the endowment. Places like Stanford, who has a $27.2 billion of an endowment to go to the sports that, they said cut because of money issues. I don't know if this is true. I couldn't find definite wording on it. I saw Houston Crest, and they were talking about on their show that the endowment can only be used for academics. Well, from what I understand, that's not entirely true. You can, in the endowment, state that it can only be used for certain purposes, like academic research, blah, blah, blah. But there's also probably money in that endowment that doesn't have a specific purpose that's been given to Stanford to use at their discretion. More than likely. That's usually how it goes. I don't know how much money that is. I'm not sure, so I can't speak to that. But most of those schools, like Harvard, now Harvard's a different story because they have like a $45 billion endowment. Mm-hmm. But they don't even use their endowment. They put all that money into accounts that draw interest.
Right.
And they operate on the interest of that money. So I would think the interest can be used at the school's discretion because they're just making money. Like the money's not being used for that purpose. It's different money. So I don't think you should get into the issue of it because let's be 100% honest. $45 billion is an absurd amount of money that should only be used to help people. Period. End of story. Yeah. And I'm not saying athletics is the way to help people. I'm the only way to help people. But the fact that it's not necessarily going to programs that could benefit people is absurd. Now Stanford is using that. I think if you make below a certain amount of income, you can go to Stanford for free if you meet the academic requirements, which is great, fantastic, good. Should be using your endowment. But also, yeah, why is that endowment? Why can it not fund some athletics? Why can the interest drawn on that not fund? Why do you have money sitting there that cannot be used to further students in your programs?
It's true.
I don't understand that.
I don't either.
So, I think these are a lot of great questions to be asked. Again, I don't think like demanding that endowment gets used. I don't think you can do that. If we're talking about things that just can't be done. But demanding they find a way to make it work, I don't think it's an absurd thing to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just lacking leadership right now, though. That it doesn't I don't know who their leader is.
I think their head's in the right place. I think there definitely needs to be some sort of change. But to ask for 52% of the revenue and then ask for medical insurance for 6 years after you're gone, ask for 6 years of athletic scholarships. That's money. That's the revenue too. So
yeah, you can't.
How much do you want?
So to me, it seems like they sat in a room and were like, all right, what should we demand? And one guy's like, medical. And they're like, got it. What else?
We want wrestling back. Got it. We want 50%. Or we want 75%. 50%. Okay. That's what it kind of reads like to me. I mean, obviously, I don't think it went exactly like that. But yeah, that's what it reads like.
Right.
What it reads like to me. So I just think they need more direction. And then it's the Pac-12. You don't think they can find players just like you play in the Pac-12?
Sure.
If it's the SEC,
I mean, Penny Sewell is one of them, and he's gonna be like a top 5 draft pick. So
see, that guy could make that. If that guy's joining it, then good. Then,
right,
you could probably make a statement.
he's in the right place. Also, we got some breaking news. Tennessee just got their kicker for the 2021 class.
Sign him.
JT Carver commits
do
to Tennessee. He's from Martin, Tennessee.
Nice. I don't even know where that's at. West.
Yeah, toward Memphis.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Nice.
Got her kicker.
Love that.
Man.
Matt, you just retracted your question. I was about to read it out loud. It was something like, he doesn't think Sankey's getting cold feet. I didn't see the article you're talking about, though, so I'm not sure. From what I can tell, though, I don't think the SEC is in a hurry to... I think the SEC is going to do everything in their power to make football happen this fall.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I think it's going to take a lot to cancel SEC football. I mean, every state in the South is open right now.
Yeah.
So, I think it'd take a lot. I'm not sure where Sankey's standing, but yeah, I think it'd take a lot. So anything else for Pac-12 before I ask you about the Big Ten?
No, I mean, leading into that, Big Ten kind of put out the same demands
For the players did?
Yeah, today. And
College football's not happening.
a lot of it's the same thing. There's a lot more guidelines to do with COVID in it.
I think that's the important part at the moment.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Protecting players and staff and whatnot.
But they also released the Big Ten schedule.
Okay. Oh, did they? What does that look like? What does it look like for like Ohio State, Michigan? That's who I'm curious about.
A lot of people were saying how easy Ohio State's schedule is, but the easiest one by far is Wisconsin.
Heck yes, we get to see a Wisconsin champion.
I mean, they'll be in the college football playoff for sure. They don't have to play Ohio State, and they don't have to play Penn State.
Yeah.
So they play at Michigan and at Iowa. The rest of them are just like Rutgers,
They
Illinois.
play at Iowa.
Yeah.
Loss. Loss. You sign it. Sign, seal, delivered. Loss. You can't play it. You don't play at Iowa. Come out with a win. It doesn't happen. All right. So I've got it. I did not know. I don't think I knew Illinois was in the Big Ten. Illinois. Sorry.
Yeah, so they start their season September 3rd, which is interesting because the SEC doesn't start until September 26th.
It is interesting.
Their season is like, I think they're scheduled to play their championship on December 5th, which I don't think the SEC is till like the what would be
The SEC shouldn't be
the
too terribly late because they're just missing 2 weeks.
19th?
Maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
It's interesting. So a lot of people kind of threw out the idea of the SEC having one collective bye week. The Big Ten has 5 total bye weeks.
Gotcha.
Like 5 weeks that a team will have a bye. So I guess the SEC will probably do something similar. They may go for one single bye week. I just don't know.
Yeah, but Wisconsin, like it's...
Yeah, dude, that's a cushy schedule. Open with
It's
Indiana,
trash.
finish with Rutgers.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State...
Your toughest matchup's probably Minnesota. Probably at Iowa.
Yeah, or at Michigan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they play Michigan. Yeah,
But they don't have to play Michigan State, no Penn State, no Ohio State.
yeah, that's a nice little schedule.
I don't know how
I wouldn't be complaining.
I hope Tennessee draws something like that. That'd be nice. But we got Alabama, so...
That's our Michigan. We'll take that. Like
Right.
that. There you go.
Okay.
So let's say Michigan. Then they throw in for giggles. They throw in A&M. Love it.
Yeah.
That'd be equivalent to Iowa, I think. Love it. And A&M should be having to travel to Tennessee this time if they do that. So, which I don't know if they'll follow the same like guidelines, I guess, as they would have. I don't know how that'll work. So I didn't see anything about the Big Ten players. Are they doing like the same thing? We Are United or whatever.
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah. It was to the Players Tribune.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about JT Carver real quick because he 5-star on Coles, probably 3-star or whatever on 247. That would mean he's the number one kicker in the in the state, then?
Yeah, I would say.
Or what does he rank in the country, you know? He was first team All-American in 2019, first team All-State, and All-West team as well. All-West Tennessee team. Nice. His team could use a bump in the uniform department, though.
Who's his team?
I'm very unclear, but they wear 2 different blues and blue and black.
Yikes.
So, yeah, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan.
Oh, he goes to Westview.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's the same high school as Ty Simpson.
It is the same high school? Okay, nice. Yeah. Nice.
So it doesn't really have like what his ranking is on 247, but he's a good kicker. I've actually heard his name, so that's saying something.
Big pick. I love getting kickers, baby. I love it.
Kicker you,
Yeah.
or I guess we're punter you, but
Punter
hey,
you.
We'll go specialist you. How about that?
Yeah, we maybe have a way to go with the kickers. We need to get some better kickers in here.
Yep. Hopefully ours gets all SEC this year. First team. First team.
Do what?
Automatically. First
Yeah.
team.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I didn't realize Goggle Dog. Did we talk about this? Signed with Indianapolis?
Wait, what?
He signed with Indianapolis. Goggle Dog did.
Oh, yeah.
So he's up and playing for the Colts.
And Lucas Oil.
Yeah. I also so is God bless. Vinatieri, is he retired? Finally?
Surely.
I mean, he's
He's
old
100
for a long time.
Yeah, he's 100.
I just don't remember hearing about him retiring. I mean, he's got to not play. He's got to opt out for this year because he's going to be he's getting to be in a high risk group.
Yep.
Is he a free agent right now?
I think that's big to get JT Carver because, Ty Simpson, that's Tennessee's top recruit for
Is he are they buddies?
2022. It's hopefully. Hopefully. We need that. Get that pipeline going.
Exactly. I'm trying to see if he released. It looks like he's still active.
Gosh.
Oh, he did put on injury reserve last year. I forgot about that. So he may be done. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about him.
Is he in a nursing home yet?
Probably. Dude, he's got that silver fox look.
He does. That's what I'm going for.
It says he's active. It says he's 47 years old and he's the oldest active player in the NFL.
I think after this SEC schedule, I think I'm going to be full gray. Just got to accept it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the case.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it. Go for segments.
Yeah, let's head on into some segments. If you got questions, drop them in here now. I'm on Twitter and YouTube. Landon's got Facebook. We still got time for you to call in. That's 865-424-1342. Call in. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Numbers on the screen there. We'll take your messages, your calls. We'll talk to you.
You start with Florida Man.
Let's do it. Let me get my classic Florida Man picture up here. Nice. It's a good looking guy here. He is curious to see if he's gonna get that tattoo. I did it again. Played the dang Pons thing again. All right, classic Patriots tattoo on his helmet, his head. See if he gets it replaced with a Tampa Bay Buccaneer this year.
Should.
Yeah, I think so.
Should.
He's got that Gronkowski look to him. Yeah, it's a little scary. I'm a little scared.
He's got the wagon, right?
You see that? Is that up on your screen yet?
Yeah. Oh, man. Oof. Oof. Who does he look like? Oh, my gosh. Who does he look like? He looks like a dude off a movie. I can't think of it. But anyway.
Is it the guy in Adam Sandler's movies whose eyes are always crossed?
Crazy Eyes?
No. Different guy. The guy that's, did you just make a joke, Bobby? Linebacker. I don't know his name.
Yeah, that's who he looks like. Yeah, good job.
His eyes are almost crossed, but they're
his name.
not somehow.
Yeah.
But he also is looking at me in his side profile picture, which is pretty creepy.
Yeah, okay. That's weird. Florida Man. I'll start. So, let me see what the date on this was. So, it was May 19th, 2019. Somebody say it looks like Kid Rock. He does kind of look like Kid Rock.
My name is Kid.
Josh Johnson said that. I'll give you some credit. That was good. Florida man is behind bars after police say he set fire to his wife's home and led deputies on a high-speed chase in a Dodge Charger painted to look like the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard.
But it was a Dodge Charger.
It was a Dodge Charger. But isn't that like the...
I love that.
Like going out in flames? That's Dukes of Hazzard. Dudes you love. I don't hate it. But yeah, I think they got into an argument and he set the place on fire. So it was his wife. So hopefully it's his soon-to-be ex-wife.
I don't know, man. You can't destroy love that easily.
Yeah, could you imagine the
true
picture,
love.
just the house ablaze, and he's just taking off in a General Lee? That's Florida. Or
Did it have the
Alabama
horn?
right there.
Hopefully. I've got two. I've got one Florida man. He was arrested because I need to go on a little bit of a lighter note because the other one's kind of bad, but I also just want to make fun of her, so we're going to do it. First one's a 20-year-old man is facing a charge of felony criminal mischief after authorities say he used a front loader to dump a mountain of dirt on top and inside of his girlfriend's Cadillac.
Oh, God.
First off, her Cadillac is sitting somewhere. I don't know if he took it there. It's sitting in a place that looks like this would happen to it. Like it's just in a dirt field.
That's a nice car.
Yeah, I know, to get a crap ton of dirt sat on it. And then I've got Florida woman.
Oh.
Mixing it up a little bit. Hurls racial slurs at black landscapers in viral video. From every video I've seen, she's like they're mowing a yard and she's just like, why are you all here? Racial slur. And it's like, they're mowing a yard.
Jesus.
If people get to the point they're casing houses while they do landscaping, they're getting too smart for us. Like,
Sure.
Kudos.
Maybe they should have just ran over her with a lawnmower.
I wouldn't have hated it.
Yeah.
She did it she ended up getting arrested because she harassed them for so long.
I'm doing my job, man.
She's insane.
Good Lord.
Insane and racist are not two good combinations.
No, definitely not. I like that. That was a good one.
Bless up. We got any questions? I need to get back on Twitter here.
I don't have any questions. Stupidity though. You want to go for some stupidity?
Maybe. I think I got some. Let's do it. You got one first? Have you seen Clay Travis and Darren Ravel just going after each other?
Yeah, it's so weird.
I wish they would just both shut. They're both much dumber than they think.
They should just
Which is
wrestle.
unfortunate.
It'd be funny.
Also, did we talk about Giannis Cespedes just going missing? Have we talked about that yet?
No, because I was gonna save that for fail. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You can go ahead.
So he didn't report to the ballpark. They couldn't get a hold of him. Went to his hotel room, couldn't find him. And then during the game, his manager let the organization know that he was opting out for the season.
Yeah.
That man was on a bin. I don't know anything. I know Cespedes has been some trouble, but I don't know much about him.
Yeah, he's definitely been off the field. That's why I can't stay with one team.
Was he just on a bender or something? And halfway through, he was like, "I'm late. Might as well not play the rest of the season."
I'm good. Well, and you're playing for the Mets. Like, I get it.
Right.
I'm good. My first stupidity is Dan Wolken.
I left the best Florida man out. I'll have to save it for next week.
Oh, I thought you forgot to press record or something. I'm like, oh man, that's rough. Dan Wolken is my stupidity.
How'd you find him? Somebody send it to you?
A screenshot. I got a screenshot. So he says, opinion: trying to restart the NBA season by making players live in a bubble is an idea so stupid, so full of logistical holes that we need to stop talking about it.
Man, screenshots live forever. That sucks. It's the only one working out.
They haven't got one yet.
MLS is working out too, but yeah.
I haven't got one yet.
The two teams, the two leagues
In the bubble.
are doing the best. So.
Yeah. So, Dan Wolken, you're a freaking moron. Everybody already knew that. Just clarifying it.
We just want you to know it now.
That's all I got for stupidity, though.
Did I have one more? Hold on. Sorry. Struggling to get together here. Ooh, I had two good Florida man that were just back in my screenshots that I forgot about. Dang. I'm going to have to really pick it up here. You know the tweets I started going through the other night because I'd forgotten about him? Forgotten about this guy?
What?
Fourth and Truth. I was like, I wonder if his Twitter's still up.
Is it?
It's still up, and his last like 80 tweets are just tweeting at Dave Portnoy.
Oh gosh, even worse.
Like he's just like, you don't pay your employees enough. He's like, why don't you respond to me? Are you scared?
Scared? That's what he said.
I don't know if that's what he said, but he's always like, well, he won't respond to me because he knows I'm right. I'm like, yeah, big guy. That's why. It's awesome. I love that guy. This isn't stupidity. Did you see Channel TN? They posted a video of Arian Foster highlights and everyone getting after him about fumbling the ball. We talked about this on the show. You know, he lost 3 fumbles in his entire career. 4?
5.
5? Are you sure?
I thought it was 5.
5? Regardless. 5 fumbles. Lost 5 fumbles in 4 years.
Ridiculous.
And he was the premier back for 2.5.
Yeah,
I realized
they just came at bad times.
I realized how bad those times were.
But like, dude, he hates Tennessee. He literally hates. And you know, some of that, I'm just like, yeah, I get it.
He doesn't hate Tennessee.
Well, they asked him, "What's your biggest regret?" And he was like, "Not leaving after my junior year."
Yeah, but that's because he stunk and he didn't get drafted.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He said he doesn't hate Tennessee. He hates NCAA. Like he said that like publicly.
He said something else. I don't remember what it was.
Well, a bunch of people get mad at him about the taco thing. And it's like, apparently he spoke to his, I don't remember what podcast he was on. He was talking about
I
it.
hate the guy.
A lot of people are like, he threw Tennessee under the bus. Apparently he spoke to his lawyer, and his lawyer said that it was outside the statute of limitations. Like the NCAA couldn't get Tennessee for that. So apparently he did his homework. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people just think he hates Tennessee because I guess he doesn't say the perfect thing all the time. Like, isn't it like, a lot of people want to hear the guy go, oh, I love my 4 years at Tennessee. The dude would have gone like in the second round had he left after his junior year. Stays, doesn't touch the ball hardly at all because of a new system they're running. Doesn't premiere him at all. Doesn't even get drafted and is pretty lucky to get signed. Mm-hmm. And then after he gets injured his senior year, right? And gets plagued by injury the rest of his career. Yep. Yeah, I get why. I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but I get it.
Right. Yeah, it's not a regret because he hated Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a regret. It's a regret because what happened to his career.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people misunderstood that, and he's super blunt about it.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, and I'm sure people were tweeting back at him, and were like blah blah blah, and he's like, yeah, probably he probably didn't respond the best way if he responded.
Right. I have one more stupidity. It's from the New York Post. It's an article. It says shark that killed New York City woman confirmed as a great white, and it's still out there. It's still out, like
it's a murder suspect.
Somebody tweeted was like, "Did you want him to turn himself in? Like what?" Oh my gosh!
On the run tonight. Great white. Is that like a Shark Week? Isn't it Shark Week this week?
I think it is. Yeah.
Is that a Shark Week tweet?
It might.
So, did you watch the Megalodon video ever? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna say anything then.
Because I love the beach, so I don't anything that has to do with like sharks. Maybe.
Dude, I just hope if I ever get bitten by a shark, I hope that shark takes me like under and drowns me. That I don't want to live with a freaking shark bite. That just sounds miserable. Like, first off, you got to survive that day. That's hard in and of itself.
Right. And
then you have a missing leg for the rest of your life. Like, Blake Lively looked good with it, but I wouldn't. Right. And didn't she play that girl in that surfing movie?
Did she?
Is that Blake Lively?
I don't know.
She's blonde. Blake Lively's blonde, right?
Yeah,
we've talked about this. I can't remember any actors or actresses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She is blonde. She is pretty. So I mean, yeah,
she is pretty.
You got 2 of them right.
She is pretty. Guys, that's all. That's all I've got.
That's all I got.
Guys, we want to thank you all for joining. We're gonna do the call-in. Get used to the call-in thing. We want to do it. We want y'all to call in because we always want to talk about, especially right now. Always want to talk about what you all want to talk about. So make sure you save that number in your phone, and call us when we're live, and we'll chat. We'll talk about sports a little bit or whatever right now. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about life. Yeah.
Make sure you go to do what?
We've done it before.
We have. Make sure you go to volunteerroadshow.com. Gonna be a ton of new merchandise there. Hit the shop tab on the right in the right corner. There's also a ton of content on there with all the shows Volunteer Roadshow has. So make sure you go and check all those out.
Can't wait to see basketball season.
Golly,
you can't wait for football season.
I was gonna say
it's
gonna be football already.
It's a good thing we're not UConn. We have something to look forward to in every season. But that's all we got. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.